Alright, so we're continuing on with the shape of the eyebrows. And here's where you'll see a little bit of the second eyebrow there. And it's just going to be like this little furry patch because it's real foreshortened. Into the mustache and facial hair. So the mustache is actually sticking out quite a bit away from the upper lip. And you can see it's kind of angled there. And I'm just loosely outlining where the facial hair is going to go. So there's the lower lip. You don't want to put hair there. You're putting it just below. And the facial hair does stick out a ways beyond the chin. There's the top of the beard or along the cheekbone, and then here's along the jawline next. So I'm curving that end of the beard a little bit. There we go. So there's the start to the beard. Okay, so now we're going to be focusing in more on the eye. I've drawn the iris and the pupil. The iris and the pupil are both ovals. They are no longer circles when you're drawing the eye from the profile from the side. And I've placed that pupil a little bit closer to the right side of the iris than to the left. I guess it's embedded in the eyeball itself, in the iris. So there's all these folds and flaps around the eye, and it looks a little strange, and it's hard to draw because it's curving around almost like a ribbon would curve. And I'm working on the shading around the eye itself. So remember, the eye socket is going to be a place where there's going to be shadow, since it's kind of a shallow cave there. Good news is you're only drawing one eye, so it doesn't have to be match the other one perfectly. It's fine. So there are these patches of shading here where it's darker in some places, medium, and then kind of a light gray. I'm going to be darkening up the dark areas as we work through the drawing. I'm trying to get that area around the eye socket a little bit lighter. It went a little too dark. And I just lifted off some shading and then removed some of it. So the eyeball itself, the white of the eye, isn't really white in this picture because the eye is in shadow. So it'll be pretty dark gray. Remember that when you're doing the iris, the top of the iris is usually more in shadow because there's a shadow cast from the upper lid. Defining that rim a little bit more. So what I do a lot while I'm working is I compare value to value, which means you're comparing one value against another value in your drawing. And this is really important when you're using a reference, when you have like a picture to work from, that you compare the values that are in the picture. And I think I've told you before that I start out lighter than I need to, and then I go back in and make it darker. Getting the top of the eye to get a little bit darker too. Making sure that the iris is darker than the white of the eye. So I'm switching between pencils. I was using the yellow at first, and then I switched to a 4B. So there's some lashes on the eyes. And I didn't want to draw too many because you're going to make him look really feminine if you put too many lashes on his eyes. And we are doing a man. We have to do a man. You really want that eye socket to curve to start to look round. So I'm actually toning down those lashes just a little bit. So there's kind of that pocket underneath the eye. Like a little bag under the eye. Starting on that bridge of the nose. You can see I'm going all one way with my pencil stroke. I'm kind of angling it. That's what I prefer to do. I'm not saying it's the only way, because it certainly is not. It's just what I'm comfortable with. Okay.